Your hotel could be in dire straits in no time. We've seen what happened with COVID, right? And we all know it could happen again. But also, a lot of small crises could happen in the meantime. Staff crisis, distributors crisis, market crisis, reputation crisis. There are a lot of enemies that could potentially put an end to our beloved hotels. What can we do then? Well, there's one strategy we can use that will help our hotel not only survive during crises, but thrive in them and even become more successful. So let's dive into this potential game changer, risk management. I'm Eugenio, and this is Hospitality Ideas. The world is constantly changing. New companies arise, putting at risk established businesses, and they do that because they change paradigm. What does that mean? It means that established companies tend to be complacent. They tend to work exactly as they've always done. But the technology or the market or the customers changed. And that opened an opportunity for companies that were paying attention to these changes. Think of OTAs and the traditional travel agency in the early 2000s. Or Airbnb and OTAs in the same market just a few years ago. Or hotels and B&B and apartments. And these are just risks related to the market. Add social risk, environmental risk, human resources risk, etc., etc., etc. It's full of risk, and as we have seen with COVID, they are all extremely dangerous. We can't ignore them, we can't avoid them, but we can adapt. That's where risk management comes in. So the definition of risk management is the process of identifying, assessing, and prioritizing potential risks or uncertainties that could have a negative impact on an organization or project. And that's what we'll do in the next minutes. Learn a 3-step strategy to risk management in hotel. We will identify risk and uncertainties, we'll implement mitigation strategies, and create crisis plans. A risk is a weak point of our organization. If the risk becomes reality, the weak point is exploited and our organization is damaged. So we'll have to identify these weak points. Like a king checking the walls of his castle, we have to perform a thorough assessment of our situation. Are our revenues too dependent of an OTA, of a geographic market? Are our operations too reliant on a single person, even if it's us? Is our marketing strategy too focused on a single channel, company, or tactic? Are our revenues coming too much from a single department? These are all potential pitfalls that could potentially generate a lot of headaches. Imagine if the OTA you are too reliant on starts losing market share, or if that person so important for the success of your hotel leaves or gets sick. What would you do? Could we make these weak points less scary? We answer those two questions in the next 2 steps. So we underline the risks. They are scary and potentially dangerous. Let's make them less so, shall we? We are not going to transform a grizzly in a teddy bear, let's be clear. It will become more of a less frightening bear, okay? So, how do we do that? How do we create our risk mitigation strategies? It's very simple. We take every one of the risks we just defined and we list a series of activities, tactics we could use to help mitigate their potential damage. If our weakness is being too linked to a specific OTA, we could define a strategy for relying more on different OTAs or direct channel or offline operators. We could choose to focus more on customers' nationality that is not typically served by this OTA, or we could focus on a different type of service, for example, full board, that is not typically served by this company. If our problem is the member of staff that is too important for our success, we can just redistribute responsibilities. If our revenue comes too much from the room department, we could implement new tactics that focus on other departments, meeting events, cater to local citizens and companies, sell takeaway food. What is a what-if strategy? Basically, we have to generate hypotheses and our consequent response. So we ask ourselves, what if potential threat? Then our response to the threat. So for example, we could ask ourselves, so what if Booking.com goes bankrupt? What if a customer gets poisoned by our food? What if that important person of our staff leaves? And with these cases in mind, we generate the answer from the hotel. And doing this has two great advantages. We have a crisis plan ready if the threat becomes reality, and pushes us to think outside of the box to find innovative solutions. Think of all the hotels that opened a ghost kitchen during the COVID, and now that same ghost kitchen is making a lot of money for them. As we have seen, risk management could be an important tool if we start using it. We could generate a lot of what is about our world today and start implementing the solutions. What if AI starts generating new travel suggestions? What will be the new SEO? What if increased temperatures pushes customers away this summer? Answering these questions in advance could save our business, so we better start doing that. I hope you liked the video and it provided value for you and your hotel. If that was the case, I suggest you to subscribe so you will not lose the next videos. Until then, I thank you for being with me and I wish you a happy hosting hotelier.